Alrighty, so hello everyone. I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and education. If you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so something we've ever built. In terms of the actual size of the case. So this isn't a gaming PC. This is just a just like an office PC. Customer needs the actual units as small as possible. So he's ordered one, gonna give it a go, and if he likes it, we'll probably do a whole heap more for him as well. So yeah. So this is the Inwin Choppin'. I'm assuming it's like the composer or something. I don't know, or it looks like also chop in, as in like Inwin from the brand that's been chopped. I'm not 100% sure. Inwin is a Chinese brand. Sometimes things get kind of lost in translation there. Not sure. But yeah, I think of the composer. I think there's a composer named that. No, there is. All right. So let's open up the box here. Jesus. Bloody hell. Look at this. My god, its guts are just hanging out the back. Holy shit. Get a look at that. That is a tiny fucking unit. So now, before you get excited and go, oh man, I'm going to get my new gaming PC in that case. Not going to happen, guys. There is an included power supply here. It's like 150 watts. It's enough to run a CPU with built-in graphics, and that's about it. There's no real, there's no real fucking, there's no real room to mount anything in this case. It's very, very, very tight. I mean, we might even have to use a different CPU cooler on this. So, I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll fuck around and find out, right? Okay. Yeah. Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. Hey Ladios, how you going? Good to have you here. Do you have my screwdriver over there? Okay, so it looks like we just have these panels. And what does that just pop off? What's the dealio? Aha, just slides off. Okay. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, we got coloured things that we can put around there. Look at that. That's pretty cool, right? Alright, so the built-in power supply here.
Boxes are in the way.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's put the motherboard box, which is a rather big, chunky box relative to all this, right? Okay. So we have enough. Yeah.
She says
Yeah, well, I mean, you could do that, but I'm not going to do that for anyone. I'm not going to do that for a customer. Yeah, so basically you've got your CPU power and you got your motherboard power, and then you've got a SATA and a floppy adapter. Hey, happy days. But then you've also got a SATA splitter key with an extra 2 outputs. We've got front panel audio and USB 3, and is that a front panel connector switch? It sure is. Look at that, happy days. Alright. I feel like a giant working on this. Yeah, I feel like I'm a few factors bigger than I am. Okay, around the back here, what do we got? So we got room for a 2.5-inch SSD. Is that room for a 3.5-inch hard drive? I mean, it kind of looks like it is. I don't know. Who's getting a PC like this and sticking a hard drive in it anyway? So, the 2.5-inch SSD is there. And yeah, there's not really much to say about it. So yeah, with this, if the cooler's too large, then we might have to use a smaller cooler on it. But that's okay. That should just be okay. It's going to be tight though. Look at these freaking little panels. Okay, so look, let's have a look at this motherboard. So, do you want to swap? Alrighty, so this is the ASRock B660M-ITX/AC motherboard. So we've got a couple of Wi-Fi antennas, we've got our rear I/O shield, some SATA cables, and our board. Okay, so there it is, our little mini ITX board. So it's got a fair bit packed onto it, as most mini ITX boards do, but all in all, I quite like this. Nothing's too cluttered, if you know what I'm saying. The design of it itself I do quite like. So we've got 1, 2, 3 fan headers on an ITX board. That's actually pretty good. We've got 8 pins of CPU power there. We've got a 5-volt RGB header there. Obviously our 24-pin ATX power. We've also got USB-C there, USB 3, 4 SATA ports. We've got looks like USB 2, front panel connectors, clear CMOS, SPI-DIF speaker, front panel audio, an M2 slot, and then around the back here we've got Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1 audio. I think that's 2.5 gigabit LAN, 2 USB 2s, 2 USB 3s, even got a old school PS2 port there, and we've got our 2 display outputs there. So pretty good little board there. So if you're looking at building an ITX PC, even one that's got a graphics card and all that, this might be a good option for you. But let's see. For this customer and this use case, this was the cheapest option, and I honestly thought that the cheapest option was pretty decent, to be honest. But yes, unfortunately, this case here, no graphics card. So, I mean, you could do like, maybe if you swapped out the power supply, maybe you could put like a Ryzen 5600G in there. But I would be thinking that it's going to be a little bit toasty. You don't really have anywhere to mount like exhaust fans and stuff on this case, so that's why realistically it's probably better as an office PC. Someone who's not going to be flogging the absolute shit out of their CPU or anything. So I mean, I could just use one stick of RAM here. It would use a little bit less power, but if I've done my math right, given the use case, we should be fine. We don't have a very large power supply in here, but it's also not a very, it's not going to be a super high working PC, and we do want more than 8 gigabytes of RAM for it, so this is a pretty good option. Alright, so if you're wondering about RAM, you might be thinking, oh, is that better, it uses less power, just go to one stick? No, there is a performance benefit from going 2 sticks over 1 stick. Okay, so look, let's give this a go, right? And worst case scenario, if I need to change the cooler, I just won't be able to close one of the panels. Yeah. Hey Kyle, how you going? Good to have you with us. It would be. I think she'd be a little bit power throttled. But yeah, that's just my guess. Okay. No, like I'm sure it'd still find a way to run. It just won't be running quite like a 13900 you would imagine. Okay, and then because it's a mini ITX board, we've only got the 4 screws. Look. And of course it's using a different thread pitch screw. See, look, I can just have the whole case sitting here and you can pretty much see what I'm doing. Look at that.
So smooth.
It is.
Is the panel gonna fit on that?
The panel has a raised bit.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be if it fits, it's going to be bloody tight. I'm pretty sure I checked the measurements on this and I gave it an A-OK. We'll see. The thing about this is the customer, a guy named Adam, he actually talked to me about this a little while ago, and then like sort of 3 months ago, and then he just got back to me recently. It's like, yeah, okay, we're sort of ready to go ahead. And I was like, oh, I thought you were long gone, mate. 3 months ago, I was like, oh shit, okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, so that is it. We have everything in our case. Now it's just time to hook everything up. So which one is designated CPU there? That would be this guy right here. And so yeah, not many people are going to see this, but in terms of just packing it all in there, this is generally the way to go. Yeah, so we've got these panels that can go on it. So I don't know, I'd have to ask the customer, like obviously they can be left blank. It looks like we've got green, orange, red, and blue.
Orange.
So you got one for either side. So you can go like alternating colours.
Orange and blue.
It's not our.
You should go orange.
Well, I mean, they're our two favourite colours, right? That kind of looks yellow there. It's actually orange. Just FYI. Okay, so what have we got left to do here? So we've got our CPU, so that can come straight under here. We've got to make sure. See, it's really tight. See where the USB 3 is, and well, you can't even see. Yeah, the 24 pin power there. So we've got to kind of like, we can't just go like plugging shit in randomly, haphazardly. We want to make sure that there's good airflow and stuff for our CPU, because that's the only fan right there. So we want to make sure that there's not too many obstructions. I'll leave that 24 pin to last. Let's see if we can get our USB 3. And these down here. So which one? This is our audio.
I put it in the freezer for it. Oh, yes.
And then our front panel. switches. Alright, I think that's it. Okay, and then after you've got everything else hooked up, then you can plug in your big one. And then you can conceal the extra cable that you don't need. And look, I can fold it back a little bit more there. And then we can tuck out motherboard cable. Okay, so look at that. A little bit of cable sticking out there. It's okay. There's not really a lot of room in these mini ITX cases. You've got to kind of just like bundle things up and tuck them away. And so this is a relatively straightforward one. It's a lot more complicated when you've got like all-in-one liquid coolers and blah blah blah. Oh, look at that. Can I? Yes. Wasn't stuck on the fan. So yes, it does fit. I definitely did my due diligence. Well, that's a pretty simple build, right? Don't even need anything out the back here. Oh. Alrighty, do you want to get back to normal view? There you go. Look at that little bad boy. Yeah. And like I said, as long as you keep room for that cooler, don't obstruct the cooler with the cables. Run your cables around the perimeter of the board there. You're going to be fine. If you want to be extra fussy, you can go and feed some of those cables around the back there if you've got room. I didn't think it was necessary. There's plenty of room inside that case for the limited amount of cables there. So yeah, in terms of these, it can be either left blank or we can put on, you know, different colors there. So there's one for either side, and you can mix them up or do whatever. I'll give you all these. I don't know if it's for work. Maybe you could do your company logo colors or something. I don't know. I don't know. You either do it yourself or tell me what ones you want. Okay, so the only thing that's a little bit different about this, got the different style power supply. So we've got to use our own power cable here. Can't just use the generic one that I've got plugged in that is normally fine. Okay. Look. You got a BIOS for this one? BIOS, babe? No? Oh, I said it had Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.1. It's actually got Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 5.
I don't think that's going to be a
No, no,
deal breaker.
go back. It's the stupid double support things. Scroll down.
Oh.
Yeah. Double support things. We know what we're talking about. Okay, well. It's on.
Oh.
This is so fucking small, right? Okay, and we've posted. That's always a good sign.
And you're like, oh, you didn't see it and showed me. I was just like,
Yeah, I showed Christine the case and she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's the case and the power supply. And she couldn't believe it.
stress test.
Yes. Alright, so one good thing about ASRock is they have a really good BIOS updater. So all I've done is plugged in my USB and I'm just going to click on instant flash and you just click yes and it automatically scans every file on your USB stick and it finds the latest compatible BIOS to update. That's pretty good, right? Rather than, poking around in the dark for one.
Reading people's steals on eBay. This one person snagged a B450 board once for $10 because it was missing an IO shield.
Oh, the IO shield people. Oh no, it doesn't have the IO shield. I guess we'll get electrocuted.
Another one bought a motherboard valued at $350 US for 200. Oh wait, no, for a 350 board for
Do you want,
10 because the people thought it was broken because the heat sinks were taken off and they assumed it was good to be that way.
I'll give you a pro tip. The best one to look for is people who have snapped off the PCIe slots. There's people out there who just think the board's completely fucked, and then you can get it for like practically nothing, even given away. And then all you do is freaking what I recommend you do is just go and just cut them all off. Cut off all those pins so it's just like the socket sitting there, nothing's like making contact with each other or anything weird like that. But yeah, then you'll have your motherboard. Obviously not as good if it's PCIe X16 slot, but any of the other ones that get broken off, it happens and people freak out. They think that the PCIe pins will like, you know, cause it to like melt down into a pit of fire or something like that. You know, like down into like a burning ring of fire, maybe? No? Depends how old you are, I guess. Okay, so, look, let's just save, and we didn't do anything. We don't need to do anything. We've updated BIOS. And now we can go get Windows on it. And this little beast, look at that. It's so freaking tiny, man. It's so tiny, it borderlines on being a freaking Nook. Like, the Nook isn't that much smaller, right? And then you've got to worry about, like, it's like laptop parts in a Nook. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Intel capital NUC as a word, Nook. I heard a rumor that they're going to be discontinued.
Yeah.
Because like people didn't really understand what the fuck they were, and that's a big problem. Like all of us IT people, we get it, and we were like, yeah, sweet, put them to work. And you know they are at work, like, you know, from people who know what the fuck they are, and that's the problem. They need. I'd say it's a viable product, but probably invest more into stuff like this so people realize what it is. It's an actual computer, not like this little box. It's like, what is that? It's not a PC, it's not a laptop. I don't know what it is. And that, unfortunately, would have been the consumer sentiment. Yeah. Yeah, well that's... Yeah. Exactly right.
Wasn't it Pi that was being discontinued?
No, not Raspberry Pi. Hell no. That's not going to be discontinued. Nah, man. That has too many freaking uses, and enthusiasts love it. Like, they love it.
Then love that shit.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this will be a fairly simple setup. There's no point running the Unigine benchmarks on it because it's not a gaming PC. So we'll just get it all set up with a bit of the usual stuff.
Oh, Dean's away from work and it's morning meetings. Fair enough.
Yeah, nice. Whereabouts are you? Hopefully we sell some more freaking computers, or I might have to get a job where I go away. What's up?
Raised in the UK.
Oh, yep. It'll be nice and chilly over there right now. Or maybe
Is it
not.
wet?
Maybe not so bad.
I hope it's not wet. It's always wet.
I mean, we're meant to be in the middle of a El Nino right now,
Yeah, but we just got
and we've been getting
by
rain.
storms last couple of days. 169 kilometre.
Yeah, we had a
winds in Brisbane
169
yesterday.
kilometre an hour wind gust on the inner western southern suburbs of Brisbane. And when I say the inner western southern suburbs of Brisbane, I'm talking like 10 kilometres in a straight line from the Brisbane CBD. So, you know, right in town.
Yeah. This is press hold. Delete. See. Press Control delete. Skip that shit. Yes.
Yes.
When we walk outside today, it felt like he was swimming through the air.
Mm.
Is that fucking human? Oh, it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, that's fine. Somebody's having a cry with the i5 1300 and 13400F. It's like a bit warm, the stock cooler on.
Yeah, that's all right.
Road.
Yeah, that's all right. What's that? In what, a group or something like that?
PC.
Oh yeah, the boys will let him know.
Yeah, somebody's already on.
The boys will let him know. PC Master Race. Good group if you want to learn a bit of stuff about PCs or ask any questions that you might have.
So,
Yeah.
Dean says when my jet lag passes for round 2 for food.
Yes, yeah, sounds good.
Should go to that milk bar instead. Milkshakes and burgers. Yeah, Mum's fine. She had a weekend at home last weekend. Was it last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope her fucking electric scooter gets here before she does, so I can have some fun on it. See if
She's
it-
getting one of those old person like scooter cart things.
mobility scooter. or
Mobility
whatever.
scooter or something like that. And so yeah, I'm back out here. I'm back out here in the country. So I've got a road-based driveway. It's about 100 meters from the street up to the house, and it's on a
It's
I
on
don't
a
know,
hill, decent
probably
hill.
8% gradient or something like that. It's a decent slope. It's
Bit of curve and
yeah, a bit of a
halfway up.
curve in it, and like it's fine for me. I got a 4-wheel drive Hilux. It's fine for most cars, but I can imagine with one of those little electric scooters it'd get a bit slippery, and I can just imagine her getting stuck in the driveway. So fortunately, she won't be she won't be bloody getting up and down the driveway too much in that thing, I don't think. What's up?
Oh, Nading's like, did you say Milky Lane Hussein? You trying to give us a heart attack?
Yeah, I know, that's what I was like. I'm like, oh.
Milkshakes!
I'm fat enough as it is.
Why don't you just jolly?
Jolly, I get shortness of breath when I do things that I never used to be short of breath for.
Nading says, let's set up some jumps on the property. Yes!
Yeah.
See how high I can get the scooter?
There are a couple of young kids who are building some bike jumps in a bit of land that's kind of like,
It's like a turnaround area for trucks.
it's kind of hard to explain. There's a bit of an area it's probably technically someone's land, but yeah, it's not being used. And it's up there near the road, and a couple of the neighbourhood kids are building some bike jumps down there. So that's kind of cool. I could get into that.
Ooh.
Only I can't really do that because I'd kill myself.
He says, shortness of breath, reaching for the remote.
Yeah, reaching for the remote. I don't know if it's that bad yet.
No,
but
it's just going to check the mail.
I just walk up and down. I'm like, all right. Alright, so how are we going installing software? I mean, we're not sort of...
Yeah, we missed that boat. Dick says, I know that was me when I had COVID. Shortness of breath. Did you lose the sense of taste? I heard heaps of people had that. COVID. I hate that.
Okay, so... So we got some stuff going in the background here. But let's just have a look and see what happens to our little CPU when we put it under a bit of stress. So it's still managing to draw 65 watts. That's about what it will normally draw. That's about as much as a 12400 will draw, which is good. So it's not being power throttled in this case. So that's good. Yeah, good airflow on that with that mesh side. And I don't think it's ever going to be used this intensively. And so as you can see here, i5, stock cooler, under stress, 80-ish degrees. That's pretty normal, okay? So don't worry about that to that guy that you were talking about who was freaking out about it. And at idle, it's going to be bloody chilly in there. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Alright, so there's our internal graphics drivers. So yeah, don't worry about that one there. That won't be connected to anything. Same with all of these ones here. You'll see this a lot on a mini ITX board because it's got a lot of cut down headers. The board design is usually loosely based on other ones, so they'll have like the what would you call it?
Oh, cool.
You would, yeah, basically these are all the circuits, that's the word I was looking for, that aren't connected to anything with the mini ITX build. Yeah.
Dean said $1.30.
$1.30, thanks Dean.
Dean says, Christine, shout for pickles.
Yes, Christine loves pickles.
How good. Pickles, gherkins. They're all good.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference?
I don't know. The size? The way they're pickled, I don't know.
Can pickles be like whatever?
Well, you can pickle onions.
That's what I mean.
I meant the cucumber type, you know.
No idea. I'm not a pickle guy.
The little ones, the baby ones, and then you get like the big dill pickles and those fucking massive things. Then you can get pickle rubbish.
Yeah, there you
Pretty
go.
sure we all used to eat that with fucking Devon and cheese.
But pickle relish is relish made from pickles that are pre-pickled essentially.
Yeah.
It's not like the relish
And there's,
itself
like,
is
red butter
pickled.
pickles. Yeah. Ooh, you can pickle avocado. Ugh, yuck.
I think you can pretty much pickle anything because
Yeah,
can't you
yes.
pickle meat? Isn't that what they used to do?
I know they used to salt them to make them like
Isn't
dry
that the
out.
same thing?
No.
Isn't like
It's
putting things
like
in
in
like a
brine.
salty brine? Isn't that like a type of pickling?
But they didn't do that with meat. No. That I know of.
What, putting it in heaps of salty slime? Brine, sorry. Salty slime. I know what I mean.
Jesus, we don't need your negativity. Hate pickles. How dare you? I know, right?
No, but seriously, it's like on the back in the pioneering days of freaking naval fucking exploits around the world, like the wooden ships with the frickin' sails. Yeah, like the guys in the
okay,
First
yeah,
Fleet
yeah,
and stuff
you
like that.
do.
Pickle, yeah,
Yeah,
pickle is
well.
that's the process. Pickling is the process. It's not the
Ugh.
product.
Ah.
Pickling is a process of preserving food without
Oh,
like
no.
refrigeration.
Someone's pickled hot dogs.
Yeah, you can. That's what I thought. You can
Yeah.
pickle like pretty much anything. That's how they used to survive. Like that's how they stopped getting scurvy and all that. No, because they only ate pickled meat. That's why they got scurvy. Scurvy being like a vitamin C deficiency. But yes, they had plenty of meat because they pickled it in brine and then ate that. Salty meat. Yay.
Dean says we're through 10. I want a divorce.
Okay, so I think Office 365 didn't fully install. We'll do that. It's an Office computer. We're going to assume that most people will be using 365. Yeah. Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. No worries, Dean. Have a good one, man.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, so no, yeah. Okay, there's definitely nothing else we need to install here. Alright. Well, yeah, it's pretty boring from here on, so... What's up?
Every time I hear that bong sound, I keep checking my PC. Ah.
We sent the link to the wrong person. Pretty sure there's 2 atoms.
What?
We sent the link to the wrong person.
Oh.
There's 2 atoms.
I thought I was doing something good.
It's all good. It's all good. He's just
No.
like, he just like messaged me. He's like, I don't think this is my PC. I'm like,
fuck.
no.
Sorry.
Alright, Office 365 is installed. Alright. So yeah, we're pretty much done with this thing. So that's pretty good. It's also designed to be laid flat like this as well, so you can put it under like a desk or something like that. It's got like a shelf where the monitor is or something like that. You can tuck it away pretty much anywhere. I mean, you could mount it to whatever you want. There's a screw here. You can do a little bit of stuff with that if you really wanted to. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I'd put my own computer in one of these cases, but for the right person, yeah, definitely.
Midnight Pages is as long as it goes to an atom, it's okay. On the right track.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, no,
He got his hopes up. He's like, oh, sick!
Alright, so this is all pretty much done now. Alright, that's all up to date. Everything's all installed there as expected. And we've got our one SSD there plus my USB one. Okay, and so this one here will be ready to accept Windows 11. Just make sure that the customer wants it on Windows 11 or left on Windows 10. It's always an option. I always put down Windows 11. It's a free upgrade from 10 to 11. It's easier to just put 10 on, at least at first, just so the customer can easily. You can always upgrade to Windows 11. That's relatively painless. It's like doing a Windows update. Okay, and so yeah, you can see the anomalous temperatures there. You can see how the ones that are connected to something are showing a very, very different reading to the rest of them there. And you also notice that there's no variance between, you know, the different values there between max and minimum. They're all like the same all the way across. It's because they're not actually hooked up to anything. So you can write them off, but these ones here that are basically in line with each other, that's a more accurate temperature reading. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much going to be it. The stress test for this one will be a little bit different.
It's so strange seeing this tiny fucking box.
Like my hand for size reference. I can nearly, let's turn that around, nearly get my whole hand over it. This way it's less than the thickness of my hand. What do we do for the stress test on this? I know I said I wasn't going to run this, but Okay, so if you're wondering, it's running at about 40 frames a second here on low with no anti-aliasing. But the idea is here that we're putting a little bit of load on the CPU, load on the graphics card, and so yeah, we'll let this one run for an undisclosed amount of time, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. Maybe I'll leave it on all night doing this just to be sure. But yeah, this would be a more realistic stress test for this PC. Now, there's no point in just making it melt just for the sake of it. It's never going to be used that hard. This is a more realistic workload for it. Maybe using a bit more RAM, maybe using less of the GPU, maybe using a little bit more of the CPU. But you got to remember that the CPU and the GPU in this case are both on the one chip. So yeah, the 18% there of the CPU, that's what sort of needs to be running to keep the graphics running at 100% there. So by stressing one out, you're also sort of stressing the other one out. And yeah, this will give us a good idea as to how the system is going to run. You can see that's our CPU temperature indicator, so CPU TIN. System temperature indicator, temp indicator 5, and temp indicator 3. Okay, well, okay, well, look, there's not really much else to do with this one. Like I said, we're just going to be running it for an extended period of time here, and then yeah, that'll be it. Okay, well, that'll be pretty much it. We've got another one on for tomorrow night, so be sure to check that out. It's going to be a bit bigger than this, and it'll be a bit more gamey. Bit more gamey. How's that? Just like the kinds of things you find in the country, right?
I was thinking like venison.
Well,
Or
yeah,
rabbit.
all that venison. I mean, it's all D-grade meats. Anyway, so thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all tomorrow in the next video.